As promised, you said you would sing the song for us. So you have.
Are you really going
Yes,
to hold
I'm
me to
totally
it?
serious, of course.
दूर हटो दूर हटो दूर हटो ए दुनिया वालों, भारत देश हमारा है। वीर तो हम में 4 हुए पर परम का चक्कर पाना है। अगला मौका मिलने पर सीने से इसे लगाना है। दूर हटो ए दुनिया वालों, भारत देश हमारा है। जय हिंद।
Jai Hind, sir.
My regiment is a light infantry regiment.
Jammu and Kashmir.
Jammu and Kashmir light infantry Jackal.
What makes a soldier do what he does?
On one hand is your training as a soldier. On the other hand, you do it like you said. You do it for the battalion. In the corporate world, there are some very competent people, but not one of them is willing to die for his company. Why for 60,000 rupees and no bonus in a year, this soldier risks his life day after day? No Holi, no Diwali, no Christmas. I mean, he just risks his life every day.
I have to confess that till I read your book, I did not know about the incredible story of Naib Subedar Chunilal. He is a soldier who has been decorated with 3 of India's 4 highest Gallantry awards.
Chunni knew no fear.
उच्चतम परंपराओं के अनुरूप सर्वोच्च बलिदान दिया। स्वर्गीय नायब सूबेदार चुन्नीलाल की पत्नी श्रीमती चिंता देवी।
General Dua, even as somebody who has followed the military for as long as I've been a journalist, I have to confess that till I read your book, I did not know about the incredible story of Naib Subedar Chunilal. He is a soldier who has been decorated with 3 of India's 4 highest Gallantry awards. The Sena Medal, the Veer Chakra and the Ashok Chakra. Extraordinary, winning the Sena Medal recognition at the age of 19. And this soldier came from a remote area of Jammu. I mean, what an incredible story. I don't even know where I should ask you to start. So, aap hi shuru kariye from your favorite moment in the life and times of Chunilal.
Thank you, Barkha. Yes, it's an honor to talk about Naib Subedar Chunilal. But I would like to just say it for the viewers that Chunni and I are from the same battalion.
I know.
So
I know.
I have seen him grow. And like you said, as a rookie soldier, barely 19 years old, he got his Sena Medal. So he was just out of training. And we were being inducted into the Siachen Glacier. He joined the battalion. And he was part of that then Naib Subedar Bana Singh section, which captured Kaid Post, the highest attack in the world at 21,000 plus feet, where Chunni and Lakshman, both of them who were awarded, were the first buddy pair to reach on top. So when Bana Singh got PVC, he got Sena Medal. So imagine he was born in battle.
Yeah.
And that kind of a thing as a soldier. So like Bana Singh said about him, I've written somewhere in the book, he says, Chunni knew no fear, or some words to this effect. Such high praise coming from Bana Singh is a good thing. But
a lot of people don't know about the sort of the whole operation that led to what we now know as Bana Top. So to explain Naib Subedar Chunilal's daredevilry, as it were, you have to tell us 2 lines about the operation itself.
Yes, certainly. India and Pakistan, made a little race to Siachen Glacier because Pakistanis were sending expeditions to claim this area as their own. It was an unheld area before 1984.
Yeah.
So we started holding it. Now, when we started holding it, we weren't prepared. There were no tracks. There was no way to go. It is 20,000 feet, 21,000 feet, 22,000 feet. Those are the altitudes and glacier. So it was all helicopter, maintained by helicopter, air maintained posts. Now, our battalion was inducted in 1987, and before that, of course, we went through 2 years of training in which all battalions go through. But when we were inducted, then our side, that is not only in our battalion, our side realized that there was a post called Qaid post, left shoulder as we used to call it earlier, or Pakistani post, which was a very dominating post. But it dominated the posts all around it, and it would not allow our helicopters to ferry in fuel, ammunition, rations, and that was the only lifeline our soldiers had. So it was decided to take out, that means to capture that post, because our soldiers would for days at end be without either kerosene oil, and it's very criminal to be without warming fuel there. So all those things. But never had an attack at this altitude had been executed anywhere in the world. You know, this is 21,000 feet, 8,000 feet more, and you are at Everest. Mountaineering expeditions go with oxygen cylinders. Our soldiers had to go with weapons in their hands. Our weapons jammed because of the extreme cold. They were not built for that kind of cold, extreme
and this
cold,
boy,
temperature.
I mean, he was a boy. He was 19 years old. That's most boys who are entering college.
Yeah, absolutely. You are almost not entering college. So he was then part of that assault force which captured. I'm not going to detail. It took a month to build up and all. And that attack itself, it lasted 3 days, and of course this book captures every moment of the whole operation. And so they were seasoned soldiers, but he was the youngest boy, he was the youngest awardee in that operation, and he got a Sena medal.
Tell us a little bit, your book so beautifully captures it. He is from Bhadarwa, and not from a very modest family, grows up in hardship, right? And you speak about the tradition that every home used to send one boy to the village. And, you know, one of the beautiful things in the book is when he's being trained, he's asking Sher Khan, who's training him, the drill master, that why does his regiment march at a different speed from the rest of the Indian army? So, you know, these are the little details that really are delightful.
So you see, my regiment is a Light Infantry Regiment.
Jammu and
Kashmir Light Infantry, Jakalai.
Now, this regiment is drawn exclusively from Jammu and Kashmir.
Jammu and Kashmir. We
from
have,
all communities.
Absolutely. We have 50% Muslims. 40% Dogras. And 10% Sikhs from J&K. And we have a smattering of Buddhists also from Ladakh region, but very few in numbers. So, Light Infantry Regiment like ours, it was fashioned after a rifle regiment. Now, rifle regiment, light infantry regiments, what is the difference between a normal regiment, let's say Punjab regiment? Punjab regiment walks at 120 paces a minute. That's our drill, our parade, as civilians will know. So this boy, he was so inquisitive. A lot of everyone does. Okay, we march at one.
What is it? 140 steps per minute.
Steps per minute. So he asked that question, and then Sher Khan explains. That Havaldar, the instructor, explains. The rifle regiments, the light infantry regiments are lightly equipped. Why are they lightly equipped? They are lightly equipped so that they are ever ready to go in battle. So the moment, traditional days, olden days, when a war broke out, a skirmish happened, the first regiments to be deployed, who were always ready, were rifle regiments and light infantry regiments. You know, one very quaint tradition, when we go to the officers' mess for lunch or dinner, we take off our belts, hang it outside, and then sit down and eat without the belt tightening your belt. But our regiments, light infantry and rifle regiments, don't take off their belts.
Because you have to be ever ready.
You know, those kind of things. So it's just that symbolism of ever ready. So our marching traditionally continues at faster pace.
And of course, the Jakalai, as it's called, is Jammu Kashmir Light Infantry Regiment, also has the beautiful tradition of the MMG.
Yes. MMG here, of course, is not medium machine gun. It is Mandir Masjid Gurdwara. In fact, we've actually added a Gompa to it now. You've done a couple of shows on this, on my son's wedding. We had all 3 Dharam Gurus. So what happens is that by these 3, by the Mandir Masjid Gurdwara being in the same space, when a person goes to pray, he prays for all in front of all three deities, and all three religious teachers, dharam gurus, are there. So let's say now Diwali is around the corner. When we are celebrating the Diwali function and we have Aarti and everything, the main event will be there in the mandir, but then the Maulvi will also read a dua after that, and the Granthi Sahib will also do a little ardas, and so will the Lama. So what happens is that all religions rituals are carried out at every event.
It's beautiful, and this is the tradition in which Naib Subedar Chunilal is sort of evolves as a soldier,
Yes.
as a hero of India.
Yeah.
No ordinary soldier. And I think somewhere in your book you say all soldiers are brave, but this was an exceptional soldier. Now, what do you remember? What do you remember the most of him?
I remember the major part when I was the commanding officer for more than a little over 3 years, when Chunilal was a Havaldar.
Yeah.
By then he had become a Havaldar. I just want to say one sentence before that. You see, his being a rifleman, winning a Sena medal at a rookie soldier, to his journey to becoming a Havaldar, he grew up among heroes. Because there was, in our battalion, there was one Paramveer Chakra, there was one Mahavir Chakra, there was 7 Veer Chakras, there were Sena medals, 11, 12 Sena medals, 2 Shaurya Chakras. So, when you have such a large galaxy of stars, he was the type, he frankly admitted to me and a couple of officers, I have always looked up to them. When will I get a bigger award? That sort of a thing. So he grew up among heroes. He was always inspired. And being a Havaldar, when I was a commanding officer as a colonel in 1998, we were on the LOC.
Yeah.
So when you are on LOC, those are the places where the combat experience of such soldiers shines through. So I started relying on not only Chunilal, a few other soldiers like him, but since this is about him, Chunilal was always very fond of volunteering for operations. Even if he was in a different location or company, if an encounter with terrorists lasted longer than the 3-4 hours, if it's an overnight thing, he would want to come there. He would volunteer.
Mujhe jana hai.
And we welcomed it because in my battalion, we raised 5 battalions of Jackalai to wean the youth away from terrorism in the 90s. So we suddenly, all of us had to shed a lot of experienced soldiers, and we suddenly had 50% boys, soldiers who were less than 5 years service. So we had a lot of enthusiastic but not so experienced soldiers. So we required such experienced soldiers like Chunilal. So Chunilal was there in every operation. And I would rest easy. With the moment I came to know Chunni is there, I would rest easy. Sab theek hoga. He became a good luck charm, so to say.
So before we come to the next operation and his next big Gallantry award, your book also talks about this sort of song, which was about the sort of, how we have got these awards, but now these are the other awards that we want. So I want you to share those words.
Thank you, Bata. Yeah. From my heart, thank you for asking me this question, because sometimes even I sort of forgot to mention this.
I'm going to ask you to sing the song.
Okay.
No, really, I'm serious.
All right. So we'll end with that. There was one of our commanding officers, Colonel Katoch, later retired as a Brigadier Katoch, SC Katoch. He was a poet. I mean, he used to compose poems and all that. So after in 1971 war, our battalion was on the LOC in the area of Cham. And we get a good account of our battalion gave a good account of itself in battle. We got 2 battle honors, and we got 3 Veer Chakras, 2 Sena medals, and 3 mentioned dispatches. So 3 Veer Chakras, that is the operative thing over here. So he composed a song which was sung in our Bada Khanas when I was commissioned. From there, I've been hearing this song all along in every regimental functions, battalion function. And it started off by Dur Hato e Duniya Walo, Bharat Desh Hamara hai. Now it's a long song, I don't remember the whole of it. The operative stanza of 4 lines is Veer to hum mein 4 hue. That means he's referring to those Veer Chakras, because we had 3 Veer Chakras in 71 and 1 Veer Chakra in 1948. So, Veer to hum mein 4 hue, परम का चक्कर पाना है, अगला मौका मिलने पर सीने से इसे लगाना है. परम का चक्कर is talking of परमवीर चक्र.
Yeah.
So परम का चक्कर पाना है, अगला मौका मिलने पर सीने से इसे लगाना है. Now this song was composed by him in late 70s. He was a commanding officer, and since then we've been singing this song in our functions. So we used to give Josh to each other. You know, it is. But imagine a decade later, his words proved to be prophetic because Param ka chakkar mil gaya 1987 mein. And so that is something that always, and Chunni amongst others used to really hum this.
Yeah.
Param ka chakkar pana, as if, you know, willing himself ki Param, and eventually he got a Paramvir Chakra equivalent to Ashok Chakra.
Yeah, the Ashok Chakra is the peacetime equivalent of
Paramvir Chakra.
And of course, we should say that before we come to the Ashok Chakra, let's actually go from Sena Medal to the Veer Chakra.
Ji.
And now this is, you know, terrorist hit Jammu and Kashmir, insurgency torn, and there is an encounter that takes place. I want you to tell us the story.
Yeah, so this is 1998. We moved from Andaman Nicobar Islands, from Port Blair to on the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. And as we moved there, I was promoted to colonel and I became the commanding officer. So my tenure, my battalion's tenure of 3 years and my tenure as commanding officer was all spent there. It is that time when the militancy was actually shifting from, the infiltration rather, was shifting from north of Pir Panjal, from Kashmir region, because, you know, we are to south, towards south of Pir Panjal, because we had raised Rashtriya Rifles, Ikhwan, about which I write in my second book. So militancy was shifting this side, so we reached at the right time. We were in Punch, we were deployed on the line of control in Punch. We used to have a lot of encounters with terrorists. And during that time, combat experience and the bravery of NCOs like Chunilal was a great asset to me. And Chunilal himself was a shining asset in our battalion. He participated in numerous encounters. He would always want to be there, like I said earlier. And he would always say, "Mere paas to Sena medal hai, kisi sir dusron ko recommend karo." You know, if I go rightly, the way the number of operations he's participated in, the bravery he has been displayed, he should have got many more awards. But that's what happens in infantry.
And I think I read one account of this operation for which he gets the Veer Chakra, that there were 12 terrorists.
Yes. So that was actually, those days there were a lot of BAT actions. Now BAT actions, BAT is an acronym. The BAT is Battalion Action Teams, assault teams of Pakistan. They would assault. It would quite often be terrorists and interspersed with a couple of regulars from their side.
Right.
And they would just come in, assault our post or a weak point or a loading point or a transfer point. You know, anywhere they would find a place they could do that. Attack, cause casualties, and run back. They did not intend to infiltrate.
Yeah.
And so that was very swift, and by the time our forces reacted, they went back. That happened all across the LOC. So here was a post where we were getting indications, the way their forces were building up to a post, that sometimes our posts are very close to each other. The forward bunker and their forward bunker was about 100 meters, and we could actually shout across and talk at times. And we could see that there was a build-up there. More soldiers were coming. We could see some senior officers visiting, looking through binoculars, and the usual battle indications that we have, many more such ground inputs we were getting from intelligence sources. So we expected a BAT action. And a couple of them, NCOs, in fact, the suggestions came from NCOs, Chunni was one of them, who said, "Why do we wait for them?
Let's go.
Let's go. Why don't we..." So we can't go and attack their post. But what we did is we said, we'll go ahead. LOC at that point is a nebulous concept, you know. So we, instead of waiting for them at our post, we will surprise them midday. And for one night we went there, laid ambushes, going very easy to say go. You have to cross your own minefield.
Yeah.
You cross their minefield at places because their minefield comes interspersed. So it's a tricky business. We lost one of our Jawans in the minefield only eventually in the operation. So one night we waited, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And we persevered.
Yeah.
And second night we waited. And they were surprised as they were coming in, and we killed 12.
And eventually, his dream of getting the PVC,
Yes.
the Paramveer Chakra, he gets the peacetime equivalent, which is the Ashok Chakra, but posthumously. And he dies in the line of duty, like the Braveheart that he was, trying to save his comrades, his buddies, his
Yes.
fellow soldiers. So before we come to the very moving account in your book of how his widow receives that, his parents are watching it at home, they're crying, they're watching it on TV. Tell us about that operation that got him the Ashok Chakra.
So this is in Kupwara, North Kashmir. And Kupwara is a hotbed of militancy and infiltration is rampant. I mean, the attempts are there. And we often have such encounters. It was a foggy night. It was bad weather, which is good for terrorists. They are infiltrating. And those long-range equipment, the Loros that we have, the equipment, night vision equipment that sees from at long ranges, we got a clear indication that 5 terrorists are moving up. They could be counted. 5 terrorists are moving up. And then Chunilal and others he was by then a Naib Subedar, a post commander. So
he'd been promoted just a few days before.
Days. Absolutely.
I think 3 days or 4 days before he sacrificed his life.
Absolutely. It was just a week there.
Yeah.
And he was a post commander. And they were told that they looked like they're headed towards this side. We can make out the Nala that they're taking. Where will they end up on the LOC? And we have a wire fence, anti-infiltration fence all along the LOC. So after some time, the fog took over. It was so dense we could not see anything. It is night time anyway. And because of the fog, the night vision of devices don't work well. But at a certain point of time, it was very clear that they've gone through. They've actually cut the wire and they've gone through. Chunilal could not stomach the fact that it is in his area of responsibility that the cut was discovered and the terrorists have gone through. But there was another line. We had another line. There's a road below that. Now they were on this slope, reverse slope. And between the road and this, we had a couple of other posts. He walked up to that. I remember his name was Rajesh. Rajesh. He asked them. So once having established that the terrorists are still in this area, now the terrorists will be hiding somewhere because it's early morning. Now they will be, if they are daylighted, then they'll be easy catch. So terrorists will be hiding somewhere. Now Chunilal actually could not stop, like at the expense of reputation, he could not bear the fact that it is on his watch that infiltration has taken place. He's such a brave soldier, an accomplished soldier. He went with his men. He said he is going to get them. And he did his best. And he actually, that kind of determination paid off, that grit paid off, and risk-taking paid off, that they actually found them in a thicket, in a place. There are a lot of thick bushes there. They found them. And in the encounter that ensued, one of our soldiers got hit. Ranjit. He got hit in his leg. In his foot. So it was not
fatal.
It was not fatal. He was new. But he was enraged. Then there was a situation where one more boy got hit. Again, non-fatal. But Chunilal got enraged. He was so frustrated for the last 8-9 hours that it is on his watch the infiltration has taken place. Then he says, my soldiers are hit. And I think with that frustration and rage, he didn't wait for anyone. He charged into the thicket, charging at them. He killed 3 terrorists, and 2 more were also fired at, but they were killed. They were killed. It was a very brave operation, but I think it must be destiny. Otherwise, Chunilal has been so brave, has been so, I would say, very cautious, and not cautious in the sense that he was very sensible, smart. Yes, he was smart. He would tell others how to be smart in operations. But I suppose it was to be.
Now, you write that you actually went back to his village.
Yes.
Tell us
More
about
than
it.
once.
More than once.
Yes. In fact, once I have gone, I'm fond of motorbike riding. I've gone on motorcycle to his
village.
To his village from Jammu. After I landed in Jammu, I went. His village is in Bhadrawa, mountainous remote area, short of Kishtwar. It is in that remote area.
Yeah.
Very beautiful countryside. And there was to be inauguration in his village. There was a park, and there was to be an inauguration of his bust was to be unveiled, installed in that park.
Yes.
And the army commander, General Ranveer, came there. But I was also invited, and it was a treat to go back there. And another time that I've gone is earlier. So I've been there, and then besides that, I've also met his family, his wife several times in other locations, in our battalion also. His son, Havaldar Manveer, is a proud instructor in our battalion today. He was he was there at the book launch. When the book was launched, he was there. Both mother and son were there. So proud of it.
So despite the fact that they lost him, his son still joined the army.
Oh yes, he wants to carry forward, and he's such an accomplished. Like when I said instructor, he's done well in his sniper course, and he's a sniper instructor in our battalion. He is one of the role models in our battalion.
These are just such moving tales, and like your book is called Bravest of the Brave. What I want to understand from you, what makes a soldier do what he does? Because, when we were talking just before our podcast started, it's obviously not for the money, right?
Yes.
There are jobs where people are driven by money. Soldiering is not one of them. It is, and a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the loyalty to the Paltan. They don't understand what drives a soldier.
Yes.
What creates a Chunilal? What creates the wonderful sort of backbone of the Indian military, which are men like Chunilal?
Yes. So I'd like to break this question. I'd like to answer it in two parts. First, we talk of soldiers' bravery and why they risk their lives separately. Now, a soldier's bravery, his patriotism, to my mind, stems from the fact that we cultivate this sense of belonging in him. They are young soldiers. No college, university, anywhere in the world follows a 24-hour training program. We have a 24 hours training. That means not a single moment is
without the other.
At the night, lights out is on a whistle or an order. In the morning, wake up is on a whistle or an order. The first cup of tea before you go for your physical exercise, and the afternoon rest, everything. So it's not only the training of weapon training and combat training, it's everything. So why I say want to bring this out is that there is no free time. So even the free time, your free activities is with your buddy. A buddy is assigned. You grow a great sense of comradeship. It's not like school, colleges, universities have WhatsApp groups, friendship circles. Here it is, everything is sort of done in an orderly manner. We create that strong bond between soldiers. And the moment, like Chunni's case, it so happened that immediately after that, he was pitched into combat. Those bonds then are forged in steel, because on one hand is your training as a soldier. On the other hand, you do it, like you said, you do it for the battalion. You have that sense of belonging. This is my regiment, this is my battalion, this is my comrade, and you do it for the comrade, for the Paltan ki izzat. That three edicts of Naam, Namak, Nishan. Paltan ka Naam, Namak, every Indian understands what Namak is all about, and Nishan is the regiment ka jhanda. So he thinks his comrade depends on him. If there is to be an attack from this side and a support group has to fire, even if someone gets shot, he will continue to give fire support because this attack group is depending on it, and all things are synchronized. So you know that your comrade will not let you down. So I think it is that feeling that drives a soldier to be brave.
But we're in the middle of festive season, right? And it's a very different time for a soldier at the line of control, right? When we talk about other incentives, I mean, I'm all for our soldiers being paid more, but certainly money can never be the driving force.
Okay, about money. Let me try to just go away from the topic for one sentence and need to come back to it. You see, in the corporate world, there are some very competent people. Haven't we seen people who turn a company around. Siddharth Lal came and turned the Royal Enfield around in India. And there are so many corporate honchos who can, not only they are very competent, they are very hardworking, they can work 25 hours a day, they can work miracles. But not one of them is willing to die for his company. That's a profound thought. Not that the company also does not want them to die for the company. What is the difference? Why for 60,000 rupees and no bonus in a year, this soldier risks his life day after day, no Holi, no Diwali, no Christmas. I mean, he just risks his life every day. It makes news once some operation takes place. But every day he's out on patrolling and ambushing every night. So the difference to my mind here are two things. One, we serve with a concept of unlimited liability, right? Unlimited liability is that you don't, you cannot, how much price can you put to the life of a man? 60,000. Can you put it as 1 lakh? Can you put it as 5 lakhs? Where? So where do you end? You don't know. So this is a concept of unlimited liability. When we go out, you risk your life. When you go out, you know that you're sacrificing, you're being with your family for a festival and everything like that. And the second thing, I think, is a higher cause. Why that corporate people are not required to give up their life for the company? I'm just taking an absurd comparison to just drive home a point. Here, it's a higher cause. You are doing it for your motherland. You're doing it for your country. You're doing it for your comrade. You're doing it for your battalion. It is that higher cause. Let's say even doctors, they also have a higher cause. You saw during COVID, many doctors and paramedics actually sacrifice their lives because there is a higher cause involved.
But with soldiering, it is an every day. Every day is a tryst.
True.
With possible death.
Yes.
And I just, I just want to, before we sort of zoom out and talk about your other books in Jammu and Kashmir, it's so important that you're telling these stories. I feel they should be taught in our schools. They should be part of our curriculum. The fact that every Indian does not know about Naib Subedar Chunilal is a shame. And therefore, your book will go a long way in bridging that gap. Now, this is the third of your books.
Yes.
You have written a book, a beautiful book, we've spoken about it before, of a terrorist who becomes a soldier, becomes a hero. You have also written about your own time as a corps commander in Jammu and Kashmir. It is on your watch that the first surgical strikes take place after the Uri terror attack. You lead the surgical strikes in 2016. You've seen so much of Jammu and Kashmir. I want you to assess the situation today. So much has happened since then. The abrogation of 370, the changes, the improved security environment, and then Pahalgam, Operation Sindoor.
Yes.
We have a border war between Pakistan and Afghanistan erupting. We've had a re-engagement with the Taliban. There's just so much volatility in our region. So, these three wonderful books, but the overall picture I want you to talk about.
Well, the books are about bravery stories of soldiers. So there is no high-sounding strategy in this. The idea is to bring these stories, like you rightly said. We need to know. Because this youth today can relate more easily to Dil Mange More Wala Captain Vikram Batra. I'm not saying Maharana Pratap is not important. They are. We must remember our history and the bravery stories, but the Gen Z, as we now started.
No, and I'm just saying,
the children.
And ye Dil Mange More bhi, honor of a lifetime to have done that interview with Vikram Batra and capture those immortal words. But it also took, there's a post-war generation. It wasn't even born in Kargil when I did that interview. So these stories have to be told again and again and again.
Exactly. What I'm saying is that today's stories, our children can relate to this more than sword fight. You hear Chunilal's story or Manoj Pandey's story. Those are the stories that the children, youth today can relate to more easily. Yes, of course, now coming to Jammu and Kashmir, or Kashmir properly. You see, in the last decade or so, we kept on combating terrorism, or we kept on combating terrorists, I would say, because you kill a few terrorists, few more come up, they change their tactics, they start using social media, we erect a fence. Everyone is doing something else. We raise Rashtriya Rifles, they start stone pelting. So all that thing happened. So that was a 3 decades thing. But in 2015, 16, I was the Corps Commander in 15 and 16. That is the time, I think the first time, the government took a bold decision. And we were given a free hand, and for the first time ever, we launched this surgical strike in response to
That's
Uri.
right.
Uri was a culmination of, there was Pathankot terror attack, there was Pampore EDI building that was taken over by hostages were taken. All that we had done in the last few months prior to that. And enough was enough kind of a thing. And then we launched this attack, and we called their nuclear bluff. This Uri surgical strikes called their nuclear bluff. We found a space to operate below the nuclear blackmail.
Yeah.
And that was the first strong step. Couple of years later, we had Pulwama, and then precision airstrikes were launched at Jabba Top near Balakot. So that shows, and this was far deeper than the Uri strikes. Then came the game changer in 2019, that is the abrogation of Article 370. It was a very bold step, long overdue. We know the kind of churn it created for a few months, almost a year. But then we also know the kind of development that followed, the kind of peace dividend that we are reaping today, the kind of the tourism that has boomed, everyone, the investor confidence has grown, so many things happened. Grassroots democracy was with the panchayat, 3-tier panchayat and everything. And things were, when they were looking so good, I think that is something that it could not be, they could not tolerate it. The handlers across, the deep state there, because they wanted the relevance, because the Hurriyat has been marginalized and the terrorist group were marginalized. So, Pahalgam, several other attacks took place, Yasi and all that, but they realized until they do something spectacular in Kashmir, and this was heinous, we know it, what happened in Pahalgam, segregating by religion, by gender and killing them. When all this happened, I think, again, a very bold step, Operation Sindoor. There is no example. All military analysts, strategists across the world say that there is no other example where one country could impose its will on another country in less than 4 days. You see how wars are carrying on in Ukraine and Israel, Gaza. They're long drawn out affairs, still no end in sight. So, such bold steps have been taken. A lot of peace dividend has been reaped. But it is still, we cannot let our guard down. Pahalgam has just happened. And we must also remember, I think that, while we know China is our adversary, we must prepare for that. And Pakistan is a beleaguered state on all fronts. And now it is even more so when Afghanistan and they are having a clash. In fact, day before yesterday, their defense minister has welcomed Trump's mediation
in that war.
It's already there. And the kind of number of soldiers that have been killed in the last few days, it's phenomenal. However, I would still caution everyone. Everyone gets, now is the time to break them up and now is the time to take POK. I would like to caution, never undermine your enemy, especially a country like Pakistan, because what has happened, it has found favors with US again.
Yeah.
It has now drawn up a pact
with Saudi
Arabia. And now they are, if I may use, all of us understand, they are actually selling their nuclear capability. Selling in the sense, they're hoping even other countries might join their nuclear umbrella or nuclear assurance, if I may call it. So, to that extent, we'll have to keep watching Pakistan with great concern.
But this rhetoric, you said this rhetoric, take back POJK. This is, and people who've never fought a war, reported a war, served in the military, they are the first ones to say it.
Yes.
Of course, it is a unanimous resolution of the Indian Parliament. It is the Indian position. It is occupied illegally by Pakistan. So there's no change in that position.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying as a military man is to say there are practical, don't make lazy comments about the fact that ये कहने पे हो जाएगा.
Bilkul. No, I always say, when a lot of people tell me, my answer to them, they say, we must take it. My answer is simple. And then do what? You take that. Let's say you've taken POJ.
Yeah.
Then what do? We've sorted out, you take an adverse segment of population of 54 lakhs because POK is not only POK as Pakistan calls it, it is also Gilgit-Baltistan.
That's right.
Remember that also there are implications because the CPEC corridor is now running through that Gilgit-Baltistan area. So China is also involved.
Yeah.
So there are several dimensions to see. You just see a few protests in POK, which is true, it's happening. It happens from time to time. Those protests in POK, do they actually translate in love for India? I doubt it.
So you continue to see large sections of that population inimical to us.
Absolutely. They are. And then, then do what? Who will administer it? This present JNK government. Who will? So then again, we will start burning our energies
in the wrong direction
to consume it. India is an aspiring power. We are growing economically. Pakistan is a basket case. We have more to lose. We have more to lose because our growth story will stop. They are a basket case. They'll continue to be a basket case.
What in the end concerns you most about the security situation today?
I think what is happening, the Middle East, on one hand is China. I'm not discussing China because that's a very different thing. We have to turn towards it in a different way. And we are doing well with infrastructure, our Atmanirbharta story in defense. We're doing well. We take time, but we are well. On our Western front, I think what is more concerning is that now slowly the whole of Middle East, West Asia is in turmoil, and there are linkages being drawn. Where earlier we used to speak about Israel and Saudi Arabia, whether it was Abraham cause. Thereafter, Israel and Iran issues are going on. But now with Saudi Arabia joining Pakistan, with Afghanistan clashes with they never recognized Durand Line, but all this is happening more actively now. A lot of deaths on both sides. India's outreach to Afghanistan. That's a very smart move, but that will also have another dynamics with Pakistan, with Iran having its own issues with Pakistan on one hand, but of course they made up their relations. So all in all, with US now entering, the ports are being offered. Pakistan is now offering, apart from the rare earth and all that, we'll see how much comes out of it. But the port infrastructure, which has been offered to US, now that's a very different thing. It's very close to Gwadar. And those are the dynamics. I think that is something, it'll be a cauldron in turmoil for some time. And we should not, there is a tendency, I think, amongst us in India, all these armchair strategists and thinkers to say that, Pakistan is a failed state and we don't have to bother. I think we can't let our guard down.
Absolutely.
Pakistan keeps reinventing itself, because they have nothing to lose.
That's right. They have no other aspirations. It's certainly we live in volatile times, but I want to end with a commemoration to Chunilal. And as promised, you said you would sing the song for us. So you have.
Are you really going
Yes,
to
I'm totally serious, of course.
I am no singer.
That's okay. You must have sung it all your life.
All my life, yes.
So, chalo.
In that Bada Khana was, I will be able to put out only that one stanza. I will start, yes.
Okay.
दूर हटो दूर हटो दूर हटो ए दुनिया वालो भारत देश हमारा है. And then I come to this stanza which says, वीर तो हम में चार हुए पर परम का चक्कर पाना है. अगला मौका मिलने पर सीने से इसे लगाना है. दूर हटो ए दुनिया वालो भारत देश हमारा है. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. What a pleasure. And thank you for sharing these stories. And thank you for your service to India. Thank you, sir.
Barkha, for allowing me to sing online.
Always, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.